everyone, welcome back to my channel. I go by My Muse Guru and I'm all about music and female power. So today I want to talk about the 10 things that I learned while working in the studio. For anybody who has been curious about working in the studio, or they really are interested in working in the studio, or they just want to know the insights about what I've learned in the studio, then this video is for you. Okay, so let's get into it. Number one, this is something I've learned from the second studio that I worked at. When an artist asks you what kind of music that you like to create, you don't say hip hop or trap music or R&B or whatever. What you say to an artist is that you make good music. It doesn't matter if it's country, it doesn't matter if it's hip hop, it doesn't matter if it's reggae. You make all good music, and that is your response. Whenever anybody asks you, what kind of music do you make? You say, I make good music. My mentor, actually in the second studio that I worked at, he asked me, like, if I was someone who was an artist and I asked you what kind of music you make, I said, I would make trap and R&B. And he was like, nope, stop right there. You make good music. You don't want them to feel like you're not the right person to work with. Just make sure that you're on point. That's why it's so important to work at studios and get the intern feel, so you know people are there to help you. Like, they're not there to just have you there to look cute. I mean, some producers or some engineers might, but like at the same time, like most of them really just want you to be about your business, about your work, and they want to help you. So don't get so caught up and not try to be an intern because it's not gonna make you no money. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna make money regardless if you're making good music. Rule number 2 that I learned in the studio is you have to rap the chords a certain way. I learned this the first time I went in the studio. The engineer that I worked with, he was trying to tell me like how to rap the chord, and I'm like, you just rap it, right? No, you rap the chord a certain way, and I'm gonna show you how. Usually when people take a chord, they just don't be going like this. Like, that messes up. I'm doing it to this charger because it's cheap, but that messes up the flow of what's going on. So when you're done, like at the end of the night, when you're done making your music, you just take the chord and you wrap it like this. It's very similar to this. This chord is janky, but this is how you rap. You're supposed to wrap it, you're supposed to twirl like this. You know, this is very janky. If I can show a better tutorial, I will in the future, but it should be like this. Then you go like this, go like this, you go like this. Very similar to that. That's how you rap a chord. Number 3. The third thing I learned in the studio was that everything you see when you walk in the studio, like you see all those things in the studio, most of those things you access from the computer. Even with my MIDI keyboard, you saw my MIDI keyboard from my last video, like that's just there, but like you can access that from the computer. Like I said, I had my music theory cheat sheet that because I was learning music just on the computer rather than on the MIDI keyboard, but almost everything you see in there is going to be on the computer. There are a few things that aren't on the computer, but those aren't the things that look overwhelming. But mostly everything is on the computer. So don't get overwhelmed when you walk in a studio and you see that all these things that you have to learn. Like, it's really not that difficult. Yeah, that should make you feel a little better. If you felt like it's overwhelming, it's not as overwhelming as you think it is. Trust me. So tip number 4. Number 4 is be prepared, okay? When it comes to the artist, the song that they're playing, the vibes, like it could be different from your last customer. Your one customer can come in with good vibes, very chill, you know, very easy to work with them, right? But then the next artist that comes in, they're probably all over the place. They don't really know what to do. They don't really know how the process works. They're not really listening to you. Like, just be prepared for all kinds of clients to come in while you're making music for them. There's all different kinds of people, and I've worked with mainly rappers because the studios around the DMV area that I work around, they deal with mainly rappers. I've been into a few R&B sessions, but not as many as I've been into rap sessions. Just know that these individuals, they come in all different shapes and sizes, all different kinds of personalities, and that's kind of the fun part about it. But at the same time, you can have a client who's just literally pissing you off, getting on your nerves, and that's okay. But just be prepared when that happens. Don't shy away, or don't put yourself in the position where you're not prepared for this customer, because usually when people book studio time, they're booking based off of hours. So they're booking, depending on how fast you are, is how many hours they're gonna book. So if that whole first hour you guys are trying to figure out how to put the song on the computer because they don't know, or because they don't know what song they're using, just be prepared, be patient, breathe, and just expect anything from any of your clients, because these are artists, these are creatives, these are people who are expressing themselves. So just remember to just be prepared. So number five, the fifth tip I learned was to be open to all sounds. Be open to an artist's individual sound. If an artist has a sound that you're not so familiar with and they like it, especially as a producer, try to work with it, you know, because that's their sound. Technically that's their sound. That's something that's the artist. That's something that they are craving to do. And you as the producer or the engineer can't just step in and, you know, kind of ruin what it is that they're looking for, you know? So try your best to be open with every artist's individual sound, because that's really important. And at the end of the day, your client, your artist, is going to appreciate you so much more when you just let them be them. But with that being said, number 6, as an engineer, never make suggestions about an artist's song, okay? You're not the producer, you're the engineer. You're recording, you're pressing the space bar and you're recording them, and you're probably mixing, but you're not there to be the producer. They don't like their baby being talked about. People's music is their baby. So when you criticize, or if you say something that kind of contradicts with what they really loved within their song, then they might get a little pissed off at that. Like, you don't ever want to come for anybody's baby, especially their art. When it comes to music, any of that, like, you don't want to come for nobody's baby. Like, come on. So as an engineer, just do you, okay? It's okay to make little suggestions. Your job is to sit, record, mix while you can go, and make it funky. So number 7, do not pick and choose, okay? There was one studio that had the potential of working with me, and they had the potential of working with other artists that I know of in the past, so I don't even know why I even considered working with them. But some studios, honestly, especially the one I'm talking about, it's still a little popping, but they're not gonna be popping for that much longer, if you ask me, because at the end of the day, if you ignore people, or if you don't give people the attention that you give other bigger artists, then you're gonna look like shit. Don't ignore people. Like, give everybody the attention that you give the biggest artist, because at the end of the day, that artist that you're looking down on is gonna be popping in a few years, and then you're gonna be sitting there like, damn, like, they booked a session with me, and now, you know what I'm saying, I'm still here. Give everyone the same treatment that you would give a big artist, okay? Because at the end of the day, people notice that. Give everyone a chance, because that person you didn't give a chance is gonna be your next Drake. That's gonna be your next J. Cole, and you're over here ignoring them. Like, that's so stupid. So number 8, be honest. If you're an engineer, don't give out major suggestions, but if they ask you, then be honest. You know what I mean? Like, because they're asking you. Now, if they don't ask you, mind your business. But if they do ask you, like, how does this sound? Like, can I make anything? Do you think anything can be better? Like, you know what I mean? Then at that point, that's when you make your major suggestions. That's when you really get on with them. Because that's what they want. If they don't want that, then they're not going to ask. But if they do want that, they're going to ask you. And you just have to be honest with them. Everyone loves honesty, especially when they ask for it, okay? So always be honest with your artists. Don't be insulting people, but definitely be honest if they ask you. So number 9, we're almost done. Number 9 is be confident, honey. See, now me, I'm not the most experienced producer, but just know when somebody walks into that studio, I am right there. I'm ready to make suggestions. I'm ready to be on, you know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to work with them, and I'm being confident. I'm not sitting in the corner being shy. I'm not acting like I don't know what I'm doing. Like, even if you know what you're doing, don't act like you don't know what you're doing, because that just shows people, like, it seems like you're not serious about your work. Be confident in the music that you're creating, and don't shy away from the music industry, okay? Because these are artists we're working with. These artists love people with personality. They love people who know what they're doing. They love a confident mother, okay? They love that. Open up, talk to people, figure out what their sound is, figure out what it is that they're trying to do with their music. Like, just be confident and study up on everything that you need to learn before a session. Study up on their music if you have to. Just be confident and come in the studio like you know what the fuck you're doing, and don't come in there like you don't really know what's going on, even as an intern. And that brings us to number 10. And that's perfect timing because my phone is about to die. But number 10 is have fun, okay? I've worked at 3 studios, like I said, and the studio that I had the most fun working at was the first one, and it was because I was able to do what I wanted. And not do what I wanted like lollygag, but I mean, like, you know, in the studio, I'm not gonna lie, it's not a professional, you know what I'm saying? It's not a professional 9-to-5 desk job. It's the studio. People drink, people smoke, you know what I mean? And I'm a smoker and I drink occasionally. So sometimes when I'm in the studio and I drink, I get a little bit more energy. But, you know, I don't always drink because I've worked at other studios and I didn't drink, and I still love the process. But having fun, or being in a studio that has fun and, you know, doesn't take everything super serious, because this is not a desk job. This is the music industry. It's just best to have fun, be yourself, and yeah, have fun. Like, this is music we're talking about. Drink a little bit if you have to. Like, drink with your artist if you have to. As long as you know what you're doing, you're fine. Don't drink too much where you're drunk as fuck, but drink enough where you're a little lit, where you're feeling kind of good. Drink some wine, whatever you have to do, have fun with it. So yeah, those are my 10 rules that I learned while I was in the studio. I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. And one more thing, if you don't already, go follow me on Instagram at MyMuseGuru, and I will see you over there. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.